Hello and welcome back to Chats con Sabor. I am Yvette and I'm here with my two beautiful co-hosts,
Joanna.
and Linda. Thank you for joining us today. This is Let's Talk About Sex Part 2. Last time we were talking more about, we figured it turned into more of a conversation about intimacy and connection and upbringing. Yeah. And how our parents discussed sex or didn't discuss sex with us. And then how we, three of us, have kids and how we deal with that or how we're about to deal with that because Linda has young kids, although she's stepmom to older kids as well. Fun fact, I just want to kind of bring that in here. Our 32-year-old friend here is a grandma. She's a two-time grandma. She's part of our GILF. Our GILF club.
Yes, right. That's right.
She's got two grandbabies.
I sure do.
And you have them visiting right now, right?
Oh, they're so cute.
Oh, so adorable. 2 and like a month old, right? Baby babies. So
baby babies.
Getting all the baby snuggles.
Absolutely, because I do not want any more.
Well, that's the fun part about being a grandma, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like first you get to enjoy them and then
give them back.
Juice them up on candy and say, here you go.
Here
Take
you
them
go.
home.
Go back to your mommy and daddy. So today we kind of wanted to talk about relationships and sexual exploration within relationships, and a big topic is porn. So we know that men in general, I'm going to generalize this because not all men, are into porn and stuff, and that's probably another topic.
And just a friendly reminder to our listeners, this is a conversation within friends, just like you would be listening if you were a fly on the wall.
Yeah. Sidebar, we do drink when we have these conversations.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yes, very true. So, in other words, this is just our experiences, our opinion.
Right.
It's a general conversation.
That's
it's
right.
Not
yes.
Triggered on or we're pinpointing anything. This is just experience only.
Exactly.
So if you're a guy listening to our podcast, just have fun. Pretend like you're listening to your wife or girlfriend's girl time.
Yeah,
Exactly. Very good. Thank you. Thanks, Linda. Talking about how men use porn to kind of get off, to get them excited, to get them motivated, whatever it is. So my question to you girls today is, how do you feel about watching porn as a couple? And is that detrimental to your sex life, or does it add value to your sex life?
Well, it's Joanna. I've experienced both. So I have experienced having a relationship and actually having porn involved in our sexual acts. And what I've gotten out of it, and you girls might see different, is when I had that relationship.
Wait. I'm sorry.
Squirrel.
No, it's not squirrel. I need more details.
Oh, okay.
I need a little more details.
Okay.
Can you share? Did you watch it before? Did you watch it in the act?
So give
us a little more.
Okay.
And I know that you want to talk about different experiences you've had.
So when I was exploring, like I told you, I explored more in my 40s and after, I was no longer married. I had exploring who I was and all that stuff. I did have a guy in my younger 40s that who was into all that and was into trying new things and all that stuff. And as I was saying that, I was trying to figure out what that was and all that. But my experience with porn was, in that situation, was that his main focus at one point got to that his focus was more on the porn than it was on our acts. So To me, if he wants to go watch porn on his own, that's one thing. If he wants to watch porn while we're having sex, in my current relationship, we have a great sex life. So porn is not incorporated in our sex life. And I am one that would opt out of bringing porn into my relationship. Maybe down the line, who knows? But as of right now, I am not a porn fan. Have I watched it on my own? Absolutely. Have I experienced it with someone else? Absolutely. But now at where I'm at in my life, it's not something that I need nor want.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just being totally honest because I feel as though I am fulfilled. I can't speak for him, obviously, but I know for me, I think that
it's a non-factor.
It's a non-factor for me.
Okay. Now let's talk about, let's just say one of your relationships where for your partner it was important to bring that into that relationship.
So I experienced it.
Right.
I didn't like it.
Right. Why?
Because his focus was primarily on the porn and not what he wasn't engaged in what we were doing.
Gotcha.
If that makes any sense.
Yes.
Did he expect though, like for you to perform in that way? Or was it more like
motivational?
Yeah, like that was his focus. So he was like hyper focused on the porn and not necessarily like, okay, and I'm gonna get personal here,
No,
or kind of personal, but and you can answer or not answer, that's okay. But were you like watching it while you were in the act, or was it like she was saying, like more of a like kind of motivational, like getting him ready? Was
no, it was during the act, and again, it was during my younger times when I was.
Doesn't matter when. We're being open and honest about the topic.
I need to make clarity.
For who?
For herself.
So it's when I was finding myself, but I did find that was probably one of his Achilles heels was the fact that his focus was more on what was happening on TV than what was happening in the bedroom.
Yeah.
So to me, like I said in part one, I have to have that chemistry and that emotional connection with you. And as soon as I feel that that person is more focused on something else than myself, then I totally shut down.
Yeah.
And I just want it to be over.
Yeah.
And I think at that period in time, that's how I felt. You know?
Yeah.
And I'm just being brutally honest with you.
So, we appreciate that.
Absolutely. That's what we're here for.
So porn is not really my thing. And, but, you know, it could be somebody else's thing.
Yeah.
But at that moment, it was not my thing because I felt like his interaction, his focus should have been
on you,
on us.
Yeah.
Not just me, but on us, not on what was going on TV, because that's porn. I hate to say it, is it stimulates you, but it's bullshit.
Yeah,
because that's not how sex is.
It's not. Yeah. So were you guys ever on the situation where you guys will role play what was happening on the porn?
No. We never got to that point because once all that happened, I kind of fizzled out. Like I was disinterested at that point.
Yeah.
So that kind of like
it fizzled out.
Ended things.
It almost was like, and I'm not putting words in your mouth, but it almost was like you were not the star of your show, basically.
Yes.
Because you've got these other people there. So you're basically just like there as a vessel of, just.
And there was no, after I saw that, it was like, there's no connection.
Yeah.
You know, and once there's no connection, it's like, to me, I'm just like, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And with the women, because we do have this, and this is probably going to go on to part 3, part 4, who knows? You know, as a woman, when you feel disconnected, your libido starts to shut down.
Yes. Yes. It does.
So you start losing an aspect of yourself that men think that, oh, I'll just keep going, and you're completely emotionally not connected anymore.
You've checked out. You've checked out.
You are that vessel.
Let's have a little bit of a side conversation with that thought.
Okay.
How about the men that, I don't know if they're on a pill, they're doing coke or whatever,
Smoking weed,
or they're just freaking mentally strong, whatever you want to call it. Let's talk about the men that are capable of going and going and going and going and going. However, they're not really paying attention if you're having fun.
It's just
it's
like
about
the mechanics. It's the mechanics.
It's just going and going and going and going.
Yeah.
It's
Energizer bunny.
Yeah, it's like, I'm glad you can last a long time.
And then,
but what's happening here?
3 hours in, like,
and then you're like, can you not realize that I'm already dry, and now you're now hurting myself?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother topic. Okay, let's talk about that for like a split second.
Sure.
Okay. I mean, I'm just gonna talk about myself. I'm a freaking river. Okay, like I could flow and flow and flow forever if I'm having a good time.
Hell yeah.
But if we're not connecting, I'll be dry.
Oh yeah, then that's it.
It's like a desert. Absolutely. Yeah. But like you said, as a guy, where you're going and going and going and going, and there's no connection. So as women, we start drying out. We're no longer as interested in the act.
No longer in the moment.
We're no longer in the moment. How, as a guy, do you not like, okay, well, we're not feeling it?
Yeah.
Because that's when you realize they've never felt it. They're not into the feels.
They're not connected to you at all because they can't realize that you're not sexually there anymore.
And that's how you realize that as a guy, they're not really into you, or they're not really connecting, or maybe they're capable of connecting, but they don't care to connect.
Yeah.
Not to you anyway. Not in that moment.
Yeah. And it's obvious because you can tell, hello, I'm dry like a desert, and you're pound, trying to go at it. And it's like, dude, come on.
And then they ask you, what's wrong?
Yeah.
Yo, that's a fact.
No.
That has happened.
Dude.
I mean, let's be real, girls.
It's like, you should have asked that question 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, when I'm not in 1,000% of pain,
Yeah.
So
Listen, I will tell you, and I'm going to give a little bit too much information about myself here. I'm not quiet during sex. But at that moment, I will shut down, and I'm just like,
okay, just finish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm quiet. If I'm silent during sex, that means I am so not involved. I'm so not there. I'm like disconnected. I left the room.
I'm thinking about tomorrow and the things
making
I
my
need
grocery
to do.
list. And what do I have to do with the rest of my life? Like,
yeah. Okay, tomorrow.
Why am I here?
Yeah.
My alarm is set to 6 a.m. I think I can push it to the 6:15.
If I don't wash my hair tomorrow and I just wear it in a bun, then
Oh, you know what? Crab legs are on sale. Tomorrow I'm gonna buy some crab legs.
Oh yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna have girls' night. Oh, that's gonna be freaking great. Yes, this is gonna be a story.
And then we get the what's wrong. Like, yeah, no, I completely agree. So my experience with porn is like you. I'm 50 years old, so I've watched porn. Yes, I have. I tend to kind of watch the real, and I'm doing air quotes here, real porn, where I watch couples, like real couples. They'll like upload their videos, their home videos.
Their home videos?
Yeah. I get off more on that because I feel like it's real people, and then you see everything, and it's just like, And
But
they're
not the fake Barbie dolls with the hair and the fake boobs and the freaking.
That to me has never turned me on. It has never turned me on. It's not
can I
real.
get-
It's like a movie.
Can I bring you guys to now generations?
Sure.
I'd rather watch
Oh,
50
God.
Shades of Grey
Are you-
or
Me too.
365 Days. I'm just saying.
Oh, can we just say, okay, side note, that freaking, those three movies, hot.
Wait, okay, 50 Shades and what else?
365.
You haven't
No,
watched
no.
Linda! Netflix, everybody. 365 days.
Okay.
360 Oh,
I have to watch.
God.
Yeah. Hot. I actually preferred those movies to the
Hell
Really?
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm
Okay,
sorry,
okay.
Mr. Gray, step aside.
Make
Okay.
a note in your notepad.
Massimo.
Okay.
Sometimes I play
can I
his
bring
song
you-
in my car on my drive home.
Can I bring you to today's generation?
Yes.
Or,
Please do.
Please do.
like my old youth pastor used to say, today's microwave generation.
Okay. Yeah.
You ready for this?
Uh-huh.
I've never been into porn. And up to this day, I could care less. I don't have patience for it because they all look so fake.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah.
However, you know what I have found and that I can come up with?
Yes.
They have porn GIFs.
Oh my God! No way.
This is the 30s, y'all.
Yes.
This
So
is the 30s.
guess what? So what happens? I no longer have to watch a 20-minute porn video.
Usually they're more like an hour
Or an hour,
It's like an
whatever.
actual movie. Sometimes.
Okay, whatever long it is. I just look for what I'm looking for.
I think it's your generation, though.
I know, and that's why I
Oh,
said
that's
it's a
sad.
microwave generation. We want everything now and everything fast.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I personally,
heat it up fast.
yes,
20 seconds. It's hot.
that's it.
Yeah.
So I personally have never been into porn. Again,
Wow.
Christian background, porn is taboo. You don't watch porn. You just don't do it.
Yeah.
But being on my, separated year, whatever, like getting to know myself, like you were saying in the last episode,
Yeah.
touching myself, what do I like, what do I not like, whatever. Every once in a while you get a little bit of motivation.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot sit and watch a video. Like I just can't.
No,
I can't.
just watch a
It's
movie.
the attention span.
It's not just attention span. It's like it all looks so fake. Like any video that I look at, I'm like, I will not do that. Like I myself will not do that. Like it's just so fake. And the fake orgasm. I just can't do it. It's so fake. Now on a GIF, number one, there's no sound, so you're not hearing anything. So your imagination can just come up with whatever sound you want.
Yeah.
And you just look for whatever position or whatever, somebody pinching your nipple, whatever it is that mentally stimulates you.
Yeah.
You can just search for that, and then you can find a million little 10-second videos or whatever it is that you're into in that moment.
This is blowing my mind.
Hold
I said it in the last episode where, like, even now, shit happens where it just blows my mind, and I'm like, whoa, let me look that up. Hold on.
Linda, homework. 365 days.
Let me write it down.
Yes,
50
please
Shades
write
of
it down.
Grey.
No, I watch 50. Listen, forget watching. I read 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, the books are so much better.
Yeah, the books are so much better because I read them too.
Yeah, so did I.
But you know what?
I own them.
You know what I love watching to get me revved up? Vampire movies.
Yeah.
Really?
They are so sensual.
Yeah, they are.
Dracula is just so sensual and so soft
Well,
and so like.
I will say this: I read Eclipse, and I read
the Twilight.
The Twilight.
Yeah.
So Eclipse, New Moon, all those different. I read those, and they were spicy. And again,
way more spicy than movies.
Yes, it is.
And let's just say, books are way more erotic and way more vivid and way more relatable because we use our own imagination to take us into that world, into that space. And when we watch a movie, it's just we're forced to kind of just deal with what's
that's
on
what
the
it
screen.
looks like.
Yeah, whatever's on the screen is
okay. Hold that thought. Okay,
same with porn.
I was about to say that. Hold that thought. That's how I feel about porn.
Yeah.
Number one, again, this is Linda talking, 32.
Mm-hmm.
very strong Christian background.
Yes.
Porn was not okay. You don't watch that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to me watching a porn movie, there's so much in it that I don't like.
Yeah.
There's probably more of what I don't like than what I actually like.
Mm-hmm.
And then, if I can be completely honest,
Mm-hmm.
I probably read 50 Shades of Grey,
Mm-hmm.
and I was into it more when it came out than actually watching porn, because again, I was in my stage in life where everything felt wrong and bad and guilty.
Right.
And if you haven't watched the previous episode, you should, so you can understand where I'm coming from. But then reading a book, right? It's funny, right? Because we're talking about religious background and all this stuff. Reading the book of 50 Shades of Grey, there's something about a book that didn't make me feel guilty.
Yeah.
Didn't, as much as people were like, oh, you're reading porn, right? As much as people kept saying that, it felt less wrong than actually watching porn.
Honestly, I feel like it's because of what I just said.
Mm-hmm.
We
Agreed.
create like our own version of whatever it is that we're reading in our minds. And so we're not forced to watch. So when it feels forced, when you're watching a movie, when you're watching porn, whatever it is, like you're forced to watch whatever's on the screen. And sometimes you don't agree with that. You're like, oh God, to me, Mr. Grey looks completely different than what he did on that screen in the movies, Same thing with Edward.
I was about to say
Cullen.
that.
Like,
oh my gosh, I was about to say that.
Same thing. It's like, and then Mr. Wolf guy, Jacob, like, hello, like, I'm sorry, but, and then and then you see yourself as Bella, as Anastasia, you know what I'm saying? Like, you see yourself in that.
But the basis of all that is surrounded by love.
Exactly.
In a story.
And in our minds.
Oh, we're ladies. So
we
always want love.
There's no love
there is
in
no
porn.
Love. It's all mechanical.
Yeah.
It's all transactional sex.
And we don't look like those women.
No, we don't. No. Listen, I'm gonna say something that upsets me so much about porn. Can I just say it?
Yes, please.
Say
my gosh. Okay, I'll say this. When you have those little tiny little Asian girls, it's like, bro, who sounds like that? Who sounds like that when they're getting laid?
No.
I will tell you, I said it earlier, I'm not quiet.
I'm not quiet either, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I don't sound like that. No. So, in my opinion, when it comes to porn, I'm honestly disappointed in the sense of, number one, again, our background, right? Even porn, it is made to please men more than women.
Yeah, for sure.
1,000%.
It's all about pleasing men, right? So when you think about that, it's like, oh my gosh. But let's be honest, as women or as girls, because let's be honest, high schoolers, just to keep it a little PG, right? High school girls are watching this as education. Up to certain extent.
This is who we have to be.
Exactly, up to certain extent. Not because they're looking at it as education, but that's what they're teaching themselves to look at. Okay, when I have sex is what I'm supposed to look like. It's what I'm supposed to sound like. And this is one of the issues that I guess thankfully, and I'm doing little air quotes thing, right? Thankfully, because of my strong religious background, right? I wasn't exposed to porn at a young age. I probably experienced sex before I actually watched it on a video, which is completely odd for my generation. Literally everybody in my grade was watching porn, and I was like, no, But that's a whole other conversation, right? But let's be honest, it's creating a false mentality, is creating a false expectation.
Yes.
So when I'm with my guy, he's expecting me to sound when I'm having an orgasm or when I'm enjoying myself. And guess what? I don't sound like that. And it pisses me off because I'm in my new journey, right? When I'm learning to love myself,
right?
To experience my sexuality. But then, let's be honest, I'm like, am I really supposed to sound like that? Like, come on now, I don't sound like that. So whenever I want to freely make my sounds, I was like, oh, whatever I want to make them.
Like, get it in there, get in there.
Oh, then it's funny. I'm like, dude, I sound like a guy. I don't sound like a girl.
Yeah.
But why am I saying that?
Yeah.
Because mentally, I'm conditioned to hear what I've watched before.
Right.
And that's me as a girl.
Yeah.
Statistically, men watch more porn than women do.
Yeah,
Right.
sure.
Okay, so what does that mean? That my partner, and the other reason why I say that is because all three of us girls here are straight.
Yes.
So, and that's kind of like the conversation we're having. Again, this is a conversation within friends.
Right.
So it's all based on how we feel and our interactions and our perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all straight here. So in my perspective is any significant other that I have, they have been mentally conditioned to hear, when in reality, I want to sound, I want to like just say whatever I want to say.
It's more animalistic.
It is
natural, more.
Yeah. But let's be honest.
But I think with porn too, it takes away from the connection of that person. Like there's women that I know that have never had an orgasm.
Yeah.
And they're in their 40s.
Same.
Because they watch porn and stuff and they think that's how they have to be. But no.
That's what the reaction should be for an orgasm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not necessarily true. I mean, some women are silent. Some women just kind of breathe heavier, whatever. Other women release,
are more expressive
they're more
than
expressive.
others.
Yeah. I mean, I have friends also that are in their 50s, and they have never really fully experienced an orgasm. And they're like, okay, well, but with porn, you're supposed to be making this, like Linda says, like,
oh yeah, daddy.
Yeah. And, that's it. And they have this look on their face, and it's like,
yeah,
I get embarrassed. For them.
Yes.
It's like, I'm just literally like secondhand embarrassment. Like, oh my God, first of all, you look ugly.
Yeah.
Secondly, and I don't know what I look like because I don't have a mirror. But I know I think I don't look like that because it's like, hold on. For the camera.
Yes, I was about to say that. Hold on.
You're also getting paid $3,000.
Yeah. But how about this? Why do they all make it sound so painful?
Yeah.
Like their pussy's so freaking tight. Like, oh my gosh, don't put it in. It hurts. Come on now. Yes, put it in. I want it in. That's the truth.
But sidebar, they're always not that big. Okay, they can be like a freaking little nub, and they're like, "Oh my God, Daddy, you're so big," and they're a freaking nub.
That's gonna be a whole other show. Size, does it really matter?
But they're still banking and taking like 10 grand to the bank while they're saying, "Hey, Daddy, you have a." You understand when it's like maybe 4 inches big.
Oh my God.
And you can put it in your hand.
Sometimes you don't even have to close your hand all the way.
I'm sorry. I know that our last episode was super serious, but this is funny. And it's nothing against men, but it's just we're talking about porn. And that's the reality of it.
Not just that, forget that. I feel like there has been so many freaking years and generations where men talk about women and men talk about their sexual pleasures and they can say whatever the fuck they want about sex, and us women have to stay quiet. Like, why do we have to feel like we have to be censored?
We don't.
Yeah, we don't.
No, forget that.
We don't.
Let's be open and honest about what we think and how we feel, and if that little 4-inch little nugget did something in you. Because let me be honest. I personally I was okay with average or even smaller than average for many years, and I was okay with it.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother topic for another day that we will get into that.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's not all about size. It's all about how they make you feel.
Yeah.
Because women, we are about how we feel, the connection, and all of that.
Exactly.
Yeah, a 4-incher can make you tickle, and you'll be good. I mean, because of the fact that you have that connection with the
Some
person.
women.
But I'm saying,
Some women.
hey, their other game might be a lot stronger.
Yes, that's true. That's very, very true.
Well, I go and this is Linda. I go and I jump into my own experience. I have no experience, ladies. I have zero experience. Like I said, this has been very taboo with my family and my background. So no, I've never actually watched porn with any partner of mine. But I will say this. I mean, I had a partner that he watched porn, and I honestly feel that it took away from our relationship.
Yeah, for sure.
Because he was willing to masturbate more
Yeah.
than to have sex with me.
And I think that's the real problem.
Yeah.
And that's the real issue when it comes to porn and relationships. If men need the porn in order to feel whatever it is they're feeling, to orgasm and, what to feel manly, and they can't actually separate fiction from reality, then that's a problem. Then it does become a problem. So, but as women, if we, because some women do enjoy porn. Let's just throw that out. Some women do. Sure. The three of us here, obviously, we don't. But some women do enjoy porn, and they enjoy watching it with their husbands or significant others or what sexual partners. And it actually turns them on and it leads to intimacy. Well, but I call bullshit on that, is what I'm saying, only because of the fact of what we just stated, that it's pretty much fake. It's literally directed. It's not a real representation of what happens in the bedroom. So I go back to saying, when I used to watch porn, I don't anymore, but when I used to watch the quote unquote real porn, because to me, I would rather watch two people like be really intimate with each other and going through the whole sexual experience than some mass produced, this fake shit, basically.
Yeah.
Although I will say, when I'm watching a movie, or sometimes I do get turned on by a love scene, so I'm not going to say that all of it is bad, but I think in the porn industry, the actual porn industry and pornography films, I think they're just kind of over exaggerated, and I think that the industry is oversaturated, that I feel like they've lost the connection with the real woman. It's clearly, like you mentioned, Linda, it's clearly meant to engage men, because they're more visual, they're more transactional, they're more mechanical, whereas women, as we stated in our last episode, we're more about the connection and, intimacy at the highest level will bring out the best sexual experience for women for the most part. And we are generalizing because, like I said,
generalizing.
Yeah.
Not all
generalizing.
men
Not
are
all
that
men,
way.
Not all women.
So
not all
it's
women
it's not a bashing session, it's a truth session.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'd rather read a book or watch like a 365 or a 50 Shades of Grey to see. I prefer watching that connection between two people than watching someone that is dressed like a schoolgirl and is like, come on, daddy, come and hit me here.
Right.
I mean, I do have my moments, look at you. But at the same time, it's like, I still have that connection with my partner. Yeah.
Well, I think it's all about, for women anyways, or for us, all three here, I think it's all about the history, the story, how does it build up to what you're actually doing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, like, to me, for example, I got more aroused watching Game of Thrones than I could watching a porn film. Why? Because there's a storyline. There's something that's happening. There's story behind it. This is why they're getting so savagely crazy about each other or whatever.
Yeah.
But when you're just watching porn, it's obvious that it's all about quick fix. It's all about, they're trying to make you do something else. And I personally, as a woman, I feel like that's my job. It's my job to want you as a man, right, to do something, Like that should not be the job of a porn film.
Right.
And if, like I said before, to me, if anything, a porn film just creates like false expectations and a false reality.
I agree.
And it's crazy that I'm going to say this because I feel like it goes totally against what I said earlier, but it's okay. But I think, part of the reason why I've been into the whole GIF thing, right? Because it's like there are about 10-second little videos of whatever you're looking for.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's the same reason why porn is dedicated or mostly focused on men. It's because men are about the quick satisfaction.
Gratification.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's make it happen. This is what I want. This is what I want to look for. Bam. So guess what? They're gonna make that little sounds because they know it makes men tickle. And they're gonna put the big boobies, the big booty, the whatever, so they can come quicker.
Yeah.
It's crazy because how long ago? I don't know, about 6 months ago, whatever. I literally searched porn for women. And you know what came up?
What?
Lesbian porn.
Oh yeah.
Or soft porn. That's what there is, because everything else is catered for men.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true.
I love, from my experience, I love being able to look at my partner across a bar or watch him talking to somebody else. And to me, just watching him and him talking and his mannerisms and all that stuff, and him like looking at me or glancing at me and winking at me, to me, that's a turn on.
Yeah, I love watching something.
Yeah, it's that just connection of, oh my God, like, oh, it's gonna.
I'ma see you later.
Yeah. Like,
you're coming home with tonight.
After this is done, or we can wrap this shit up now and let's go. So I mean, those things to me are more intimate and more desirable than watching
more erotic, arousing.
Now, can I give you guys a whole real life perspective?
Yes.
Okay. So my sister, she works at a hospital, right? So she has this whole background of different ethnicities working with her. Well, one of her friends from work, she recently got married, right? And it was an Indian arranged marriage.
Okay.
Right? Even though we are in 2024, this thing still happened. So whatever, the guy came from India, he moved to the States. He was an arranged marriage.
And y'all don't be Googling this shit, okay?
Yeah. And my sister's girlfriend was up for it. He liked the guy. They apparently had like a previous encounter before the actual real wedding. She liked him. Blah, blah, blah. When they got married, they were both virgins.
Wow.
Right. They're very old school Indian couple. They got married. Okay, so guess what they did on their wedding day?
Watch porn.
They watched porn.
Wow.
Because they did not know what they were doing.
So they could learn to see what they... Oh, that is... I mean, it's kind of interesting, but sad at the same time.
It's very sad. So then guess what? After the wedding ceremony and all that stuff, the girlfriend came to work, and then she told my sister this. And the first thing my sister was like, okay, porn is not real. That's not what you do. Yeah. Like, she had to have like a whole conversation with her work girlfriend.
Wow.
About, hey, you have to listen to your body.
Yeah,
you may watch a video and that may arouse you, but you have to understand that that's not real.
Exactly.
You have to enjoy what you're enjoying with your partner.
Yeah.
Explore each other's body. Use that as an idea, if anything.
As a basis.
Because obviously it's a very religious background. So their parents, their siblings, their whatever didn't really talk about it.
Wow.
So imagine being on your wedding night, watching porn because you don't know what you're doing.
Okay, this goes back to our previous episode. So I want to encourage listeners to go back to the first episode of Let's Talk About Sex, Baby, because we did touch a lot on this. Like it's just really taboo for a lot of cultures. I mean, we talk about the Latino culture, but even in the Indian culture, or even, I don't know, Chinese, the Asian culture, whatever it is, like different cultures, they really aren't that open. I mean, I know Europe, they're very much more open than they are in the United States, but I mean, yeah, that is crazy, crazy to use porn as
On
like
your wedding
a
night.
point of reference.
Well,
as on your
because you're
wedding
like,
night.
okay, I
Yeah.
know I have
Oh.
a dick that I'm supposed to put it in a hole,
Yeah.
but which hole? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
isn't it crazy spending
Okay.
your wedding night watching porn?
That's
Let
why.
me just
That's why
say-
it's so important to communicate, even if your cultures are so different. You have to communicate this information to your children
Mhm.
so they understand that that's not where your first resource goes to.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yes, exactly. That is so true. Because, I mean, there's so much information out there, especially like right in our fingertips, like right in the palm of our hand,
Especially
with our phone.
nowadays.
Yeah, with our phones. Anything. You could look up, type up Google anything, and it'll bring up a shit ton of things, right? But I mean, for that to be the blueprint of what you're trying to do on your wedding night, this is why I'm saying I don't believe personally. I wasn't raised that way, like the way you two were, like the super Hispanic, Latino way of like save yourself for marriage or whatever. I wasn't necessarily raised that way, but and I'm glad that I wasn't, because and I didn't raise my kids that way, because I'm like, it's like you've got to take it for a test
You do.
before, but
you do, and I understand that we all have our religious views on certain things
Definitely,
and all that
definitely.
stuff. But at the end of the day, you really need to know that person you're with, because I know Yvette gets on me all the time about me watching like all these true crime stuff and all that stuff. And we're huge on like energy and what we bring into our lives and all that stuff. And that's a whole nother episode.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But, you can see that a lot of things that happen when you're with that one person and you haven't explored, you haven't gotten to know that person, you don't know the dynamics of everything, and you find yourself in a pickle at the end of the day, and you don't want to be in that pickle. The reason why we're talking about this is we want everyone to grow and look at your child. This is going to help your children too, to not be pregnant at 16, not to be pregnant at 18, not 19, to break those chains and those cycles and truly tell them the reality of life.
Yes.
This is how things actually are.
Mm-hmm.
And be okay with telling them this is how things are. If you're Christian, if you're Muslim, if you're this, if you're that, it doesn't freaking matter. Educate your children.
Mm-hmm.
Educate yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Find out who you are internally.
Yes.
As a woman, as a man.
Mm-hmm.
Be able to communicate that with your partner.
Absolutely.
I think that is the most important thing that we take out of all this.
Absolutely.
Actually, yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely.
Yvette was talking about this last episode, right? Like, how can you expect your partner to know what you like when you don't even know what you like?
Oh, yeah.
And let me tell you something. I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to go spend some time with myself.
It's true. You
It's
really
true.
have to explore who you are and how things work and how things function with you. I mean, you don't run into that person that you're usually connected to that is so focused on you.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you, Jesus. I do have that at the moment. So, and I've had that for a while now, but it's like that selfless act of wanting to please your partner.
Right.
And then vice versa, because you don't just want him pleasing you. You want to be able to please him and know what he likes and his, just the more you explore and the more you're okay with exploring, the better things are going to be.
Right,
You
right.
know?
And I think to take it a step further is we have to actually understand that sometimes the way we have been preconditioned and programmed as children in our religion, in our families, in our culture, and everything, like sometimes we have to overcome that, and we have to realize
Yeah.
that real full connection with another person, with our partner, is going to only come when we release all of those preconceived notions that we've been,
That aren't true.
yeah,
They're not
that
true.
they
They're
are
not
instilled in
factual.
us though.
Yeah.
And it's literally a mind program,
Yeah.
and so we have to overcome that and really understand that in order to connect to our partner and to really have a fully, and not just a sexual relationship, but even an emotional and mental, relationship, spiritual relationship with them, we come to different levels, and we deep dive into different levels once we let go of all of those things that are holding us back. So as women, I think that it's really important that we fully take that walkabout, take a walkabout, a soul walkabout, and really figure out who we are as women, as individuals, and then let go of all those preconceived notions of, guilt, of whatever it is that we've been programmed with, and then be okay with our partners. But our partners also have to do that as well.
Well, I was going to say,
it
men
has to be
have
a
to
give and
do
take,
the
yeah.
men have to do the same thing.
Exactly.
And they
Exactly.
have to be okay with it. Set your egos and prides aside
Mhm.
and be like, okay, what can I do to reel my partner in?
Mhm.
What can I do to communicate to her that this is what I like? This
Yeah.
is what I'm into.
Yeah.
Let her or him make that decision that, yeah, this works for me. No, that doesn't work for me. If it doesn't work for either one of you, then you guys shouldn't be together.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
And when it comes to porn,
that's
though,
a great positive outlook.
It is, but as also when it comes to porn, though, if he's more like, I need this, in order to arouse, like, okay, can we? And I'm not saying porn is good, porn is bad. I'm neither here nor there on the topic. I personally don't like porn anymore. Like, and I said, I like the more
Neither do
quote unquote real porn.
Okay, hold on. I have a question before you get to your final thought.
Yes.
Was there ever a time where you were into watching porn with your partner?
No.
Never.
No, never.
Okay.
Porn for me was always by myself, and it was always the quote unquote real porn. And I have watched, mass produced porn, but like you, it never felt real. It never felt. I never connected with it.
Yeah,
So it was never a real thing for me. Now I do have conversations with people, like especially this one guy that I'm talking with right now, where he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm watching porn," and I'm like, "Why?"
Mm-hmm.
Like I question him, and it's not because I'm questioning, like I'm judging him. I'm not necessarily judging him. I'm just asking.
You're
like,
seeking understanding.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, why is it that you need that in your life? Because it's not a thing for me. Like it's definitely a non-negotiable for me. But I don't know. For him, it's more of a, I need this to get aroused or whatever. And so I'm like, okay, I have to literally say I am not a porn star.
Yeah, that's the reality.
Star,
what you're gonna get is what you're gonna get.
If you're gonna be with me,
Yeah.
if we're gonna get to that level, then it's like, it's not gonna be a porno. It's gonna be real and raw, But anyway, yeah. So I don't know. I just feel like women in general, and we're talking on the women's side, because I know men will listen to this and they'll think, well, for us men, blah, blah, blah. We know that men are more visual creatures. So for them, it's more of a mechanical thing, it's a visual thing. For women, we have to feel that connection. And if you're more into that porn than you are into us, we're going to check out. We're going to check out. And it's not going to be a meaningful connection.
Look, and we're just being absolutely 100% with you guys. And some women may come back and be like, you guys are full of shit. That's not what it is.
Yeah.
But in actuality, it is. When you sit down and you freaking break it down, and you can go to any therapist and any doctor, and they will tell you that women are emotional creatures.
Yes.
And we have to be connected in order to reach that orgasm. in order to reach that connection, in order to reach whatever it is. We are emotional women. So, I mean, that's just the reality of it.
Yes.
And
yes.
I mean, that's just, and there are truly men that are that way, that if there's no connection, they're going to have to take a Viagra to satisfy the woman. I mean, that's just 1,000%, because there's no connection, but they want it to be a connection. And let's be real, guys. Let's be real. That's 1,000% true. I mean, obviously I'm not a man, but I know I have friends. I have male friends. Yvette has male friends. Linda has male friends. And we have conversation with our male friends. And if that checkout is there, you're not going to get what you need to get from them.
Oh yeah, 1,000%, 1,000%. Especially coming from a woman. Like we're not all in at that point. But all right, ladies, we are almost an hour.
Part 2 is now almost an hour too.
Let's talk about sex, baby. Part dip. I think this is a good place to end it, though. Linda, any final words from you?
Absolutely.
Positive note?
Absolutely. As we're not going to continue and having a positive an idea. Excuse me, I had the hiccups. At the
all
end,
the wine we drank today.
Yeah, at the end of the show. Today we're talking about couples, right? And whether we feel comfortable or not watching porn. I like to encourage everybody to discover why you are in porn and then refuse to settle for anyone who doesn't completely agree.
Oh, I love that.
I love that.
I love
yes.
that. Yep.
For sure.
If it's not a fuck yes, then it's a no.
That's right.
And be okay with it being a no.
Yeah.
Don't try to make any excuses and walk away from the red flags. If there's red flags there, fucking go.
If there's a red flag, there's a fire.
A dumpster fire.
That's right. Just be okay with walking away. There is a million men out there. There's a million women out there. You just have to have patience and you have to kiss a million frogs. And I think I tell Yvette this all the time. Sometimes you have to just kiss a million frogs until you find that one.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a true premises. I mean, in life itself.
At the end of the day, you have to be with whoever loves you, accepts you, and grows you.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Yep, absolutely. All right, ladies, this has been super fun. Thank you for joining us here on Chats con Sabor. And until next time.
Ciao. See you next time. Bye-bye.